Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing today? Hopefully things are going well and hopefully you're feeling comfortable with what we did today. We are going to start our lesson for tonight. Now, we are starting lesson 111. It is the lesson from your book. We are going to start the introduction today. Tomorrow we will finish the process, okay? So here's what I need you to do, and I've hopefully got a chance to talk about it in class a little bit. But your paper that you are going to set out, you should have a piece of paper right now with you, okay? And on that paper, sorry, going to here and trying to find my page that I'm wanting here, keeps jumping. Okay, there we go. All right, on your piece of paper, what I want you to do is please write at the top of the page, nice and big, 1.1.1. This is where you're going to put all your notes from today, your notes from tomorrow, and the review preview to then upload and take a picture of it to get it graded. Okay, so it has to be labeled 111. If it's in your notebook, that's fine. You can do it out of a notebook. If it's line paper, have 111 and write your name on the top right corner, please, as well, just in case it gets lost. Okay, so 111. Okay, we are going to be doing problem 1-1. So on the very first line, you should say 1-1, or on the second line right there. Okay. This is where you're going to take your notes. And what I expect you to do is, as I am doing these problems, as I do this part, you are going to follow along and write it down on your paper. Okay? Here we go. 111, what stories can a graph tell? Interpreting graphs. In this first section, you will focus on several challenges that will require you to use different problem-solving strategies. All of these problems are solvable with your current math skills. Some of them will be revisited later in the course so that you can apply algebraic tools to solve them with more efficiently at that time. Each problem also introduces you to an important concept that you will study in this course. And here is the first problem. Graph stories. Come up with a story that could be represented by the following graph. Think carefully about each part of the graph and make sure your story matches up with each section. Give specific details for each section. So don't be vague like, well, let me show you the first one. I'm sorry. Here's the first one. I'm doing this one with you. As you can see, it's story C, and it's divided into 4 parts. It's part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Everyone has a specific part. As you can tell, something different is happening in each section. What is the y-axis? It doesn't tell you. What is the x-axis? It doesn't tell you. You can make your own thing up. That is completely up to you. There are also no set values. This number is just referring to this section. It doesn't mean the 1 or the 2 or anything up here. It doesn't mean 1 or 2 down here. It's just section 1. So what do these values mean? That's what you're going to make up. Now, if you were working with a team, you would make this section up with a team. You're not, so we get to make it up here. Now, I'm going to make it up on my own. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to say down here is time, because time is just a nice way to do it. And it's going to be time in, let's go with hours. Okay, no, let's go with minutes. Okay, minutes. How many minutes? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. This down here, though, is time in minutes. That's just a nice way to keep track of it. The y-axis over here is, what shall I do? I'm going to do water height, and I'm going to do in feet. Okay? Water height in feet. Now, since this goes over here, I'm going to, look at fancy. I'm going to rotate it. Woohoo! This is a water height in feet of the pool. Let's go with the pool, okay? And what we're going to do is I want you to just quickly sketch this graph. So on your paper, on the paper that looks like this, just make a quick sketch of the graph, and it can be very straightforward. I mean, it can be just that here. Let me show you. A sketch is a quick drawing. Look at that. I'm taking about 4 lines, and I'm saying it starts, let me see it. I don't remember how it looks. Oh, okay, just like that. Okay. So it kind of goes like this, and then it goes steep, and then it goes down, and then it goes back up again, okay? So just make a quick sketch like that. This was section 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to identify what happens in each section. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, since I'm writing on the board, it is a little bit easier for me to type it out. And so that's what I'm going to do in this case, but I'll go slowly enough that you can copy it down. I expect you to copy it down right now. Here we go. Oh, and also in your sketch, please label the x-axis as time in minutes and water height in feet. Okay, and I got to go a little smaller with my writing here so it'll all fit. In section number 1, the pool is slowly filling up with one hose only. Okay, so if you ever tried filling up a pool, it takes a really long time. I mean, we're talking about it takes hours and sometimes even days to fill up a pool. It's really, really slow. Okay. In section number 2, person got impatient. They were just so antsy. They decided the pool is filling up faster because they found a second hose. And as you notice, it's filling up almost twice as fast, right? So they put a second hose in there, and now the pool is filling up way faster. Okay. However, here's the problem. Section number 3, what do you think happened? You probably have an idea. Section number 3, they were getting so antsy. They wanted to get in the pool so badly. They kind of got in there ahead of time, and it was almost full, but somehow or another they poked a hole in the pool. So there was a hole in the pool now, and it started dumping out water pretty fast. So it started dumping, and so can you imagine having the pool nice and high right there? And how high is it? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If you wanted to add numbers over here, you could, but you don't need to. Okay, so just imagine it was water height and then like perfect height, and then it got the hole and it started emptying out. Well, fortunately, by the time here, section number 4, you can assume probably what happened. They patched the hole with like special tape. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be nice if there was some type of special tape that you could put even underwater. Yeah, some of you know the reference I'm talking about. They patched the hole in the pool and slowly started filling it up once more. There you go. Oh, with one hose or two? Probably with one. See that? They didn't want to push their luck. So that is what you're going to do, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to create stories from it. Now, did it have to be time and height of the pool, water height in the pool? No, it could be whatever you want it to be. But it needs to make sense, okay? It should make sense with what you're doing here. So you could be talking about, well, I can't give you any ideas because if I give you ideas, it would give it away, okay? So hopefully that made sense. At this point, you can pause. If you didn't get a chance to write this down, you can pause it. But I do expect to see this on your paper tomorrow. You should write this down. I wrote it for you. Got it? So all you have to do is copy it down. Have it on your paper. Then your task, and again, pause if you need more time because I'm moving on. Okay, your task is you're going to do the same thing with this graph. So come up with a story, come up with what would be on the x-axis, on the y-axis, give it a sketch of this graph, and then identify part 1 what happens, part 2 what happens, part 3 what happens, part 4 what happens. Here's what I ask. Don't make it boring. Have a little fun with this. Just make sure it works. Cool? So tomorrow, I expect to see this done along with the notes you had. Okay, so at this point, that's it for the video. You can pause it right now so you can see this graph and trace and do whatever you need. When you are done, just go ahead and stop the video and you're good to go. Okay, all right, have a great day and I will see you tomorrow.